my physician.
Well, that was weird shit, right?
Yeah, it was.
Imagine the kind of stress that guy was under. He was under so much stress he had to get anesthetized every night.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine anything Michael Jackson. Once he bought that first giraffe, I was like, you on a whole new level, bro. I don't know any of the emotional content of a guy's life like that.
There's people that were pioneers in the fame game, and you think about Michael Jackson's one of them. Elvis is another one. There's people that were pioneers in being super famous to the point where nobody had been super famous like Michael Jackson before Michael Jackson.
I don't know that anyone ever will again be what he was,
right?
Or Elvis was, or the Beatles were.
It's a different thing.
No, that shit is. I think that shit is done.
Yeah, maybe. It's a different thing.
I can't think of one thing that everyone will agree on that much ever again in this context.
I remember Michael Jackson, I've told this before, but Michael Jackson, I was listening to WBCN, the Rock of Boston, and they were going, look, I know this isn't rock, but it's so fucking good, we're going to play it anyway. And they played Michael Jackson.
Oh, it's that.
It was that good.
Yeah.
It was so good they played it on rock stations.
He was ubiquitous.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows what the fuck that scope was like. The closest thing that I've ever, seen of that up close would be, Eddie.
Yeah.
One of the guys who's been, on that level.
Yeah.
And Eddie is a cool motherfucker. In fact, if you're in his orbit, it feels normal in there.
Yeah.
You go to his house and bowl and talk shit, and his kids come in and out, and it's just like it seems like a sitcom, but it's really hilarious. Eddie got the heat. He's funny as fuck, bro. Can talk like anybody. Says wildly imaginative things.
Why do you think he doesn't do stand-up?
This shit ain't no bicycle, man. You know what I mean? He's an anomaly in the sense that I'm sure it would come right back to him. Like when he cuts up in the house, it should be real funny. But I don't know what it would mean. I don't know what it means to him, having been this person we're describing.
Right. Well, it's also, he feels like his material, when he goes back and watches Raw, he's kind of embarrassed by it. He's, that it's...
It's funny, when I put out my first 2 Netflix joints, I think I was on Kimmel. It was the only press I did. But there was a thing going on in the press where everyone was saying that the specials were dated, because there were jokes in there that they considered transphobic, and I still don't think those jokes are transphobic. I'm not going to have that discussion, but if I ever have to, boy, I'm ready. But the point is that the thing I said to Kimmel was, I don't get mad at a photograph because it wasn't taken today. In other words, whatever was going on in 87 when he laid that set down, it was working in 87. That's where people were at. And a good comedian is an indicator of the time or their context. And I look at Eddie shit like that. Like, I wouldn't look at any of his old material as embarrassing. Sometimes I'm startled, wow, he could never do that now.
Right.
But it makes it even more fun to see that there was this time when he was just saying these things. I'm a comedian. I don't smell any malice in it. I don't think he's trying to hurt anybody.
No.
It's just, this guy is just cracking.
He was doing comedy that was relevant during the time that he was doing it. The world was a different place.
Right, and it's not irrelevant now. The thing that's remarkable is he's a different guy now,
right?
Which is why he feels embarrassed. It's not even about what happens to the world. It's what happened to this guy in the world. He sees the world different now, and this happens.
Crazy thing is he doesn't look a day older.
He looks great.
He looks amazing.
He looks great. Yeah, it's amazing. One time I was watching TV with Eddie, and Sanford and Son rerun was on. And he says, I'm as old now as Red Fox was in this episode. Wow. Sanford and Son.
That's crazy.
Right. And then I look at the television, I look at Eddie, I'm like, damn. And he goes, yeah, I'm as old now as Carol O'Connor was in All in the Family. You think how Archie Bunker looked? That motherfucker looked terrible.
That's crazy. He looked terrible.
There goes Eddie looking like it's 1987 shit.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is wild. Yeah, he's just taking so good care of himself. What does he do? Does he exercise a lot?
No, I have no idea. It's like Prince. I've never seen Prince eat or drink anything. I'm sure he does it. I don't know what Eddie does. He bowls. He's a family guy and stuff like that. Like he's really into his family.
That is true. Sometimes some people you never see them do anything better. Always in a good shape, you know, all the time. But I won't tell a lie. If we say the Murphy he looks younger than his age, then you don't forget about Arsenio Hall. Arsenio Hall, man, that guy is a vampire. He doesn't age at all. He looks like someone that his age has been passed, you know. And definitely for sure, it's something that I too am curious to though. I don't know why Eddie Murphy doesn't do stand-ups anymore. I mean, maybe it might be that he wants to give room for the new folks, or maybe he's focused on movies, so he doesn't really have too much time for stand-ups. Or maybe he's much focused on his family, raising his family, his kids, and all whatnot like that. Maybe who knows? Who knows? But he is a really really good stand-up comedian. Another person that is that looks way much younger than his own age, Arsenio Hall. I call him the vampire. He looks way much younger than the movie even. You say black don't crack. Those are perfect definitions of black don't crack for guys. Excuse. They don't age at all. They always look younger, still do look young, you know. And the funny part there is they never age. And the funny part there is they never age one bit in their life. The funny thing is they never age one bit in their life. Some people are just blessed with good skin, while others will have to work it out, but some people are just born with good bodies. Like, some people are just blessed with good bodies. And that is he remove I don't know if he smokes cigarettes though, but I'm not sure he does. I'm not sure he does, but he's just blessed and lucky with good body.